eyes don't seem to see too well today. Blinded like many by the dust of my shame. I'm in the mood to find the only way. I've held the hand of ignorance, been hustled by its pride. The hunger pains woke me from the sleep. I'll let you rearrange me, pull my strings to change me. Could you, for the things that I've done, things that I've can be so twisted. Many times my eyes have strayed away from wisdom's view. I must admit, rice's green luster always faded with philosophies. The dogma always held like comedy. Still, you are so willing to show me that you've given. Oh, for the things that I've done, things that I've done, things that I've done, things that I've done. Forgive me, wash away my So listen what you
Okay, that was Forgive. This is Dave Turner. We're doing the Citizen Swing Deep Down 25th anniversary playthrough, where I go back and look at all of my bass lines from 25 years ago and do an analysis, a critique, and then sometimes I give my 25-year-old self some advice on how to make the bass line a little bit better, and I come up with a new official version, not that anyone cares, but a new official version of the bass line, should I ever have the opportunity to play these songs live again. You never know, right? You never know. So, that's Forgive Me. It starts out with just solo guitar and Myles singing, and there's a little bass solo at the beginning there, and it's really just kind of a blues song in a way, and the bass solo is really just a blues bass solo. And at the time I was unhappy with the bass solo. I was kind of embarrassed. I thought it was overly simple. It wasn't, as technically glamorous as I was wanting it to be. Really wanted to play like Jeff Berlin back in those days, but I didn't have the self-discipline to really study and learn to play like that. I just wanted to do it without the work, and of course that doesn't actually turn out, doesn't actually work that way. So when I did the solo, I tracked it, and I tracked it on the yellow Carvin 4-string bass. It was a 1988 LB70. That bass was stolen from me in 1997, so if you've seen it, let me know. It's pretty distinctive. It's yellow. Has Rocco Prestia, rest in peace, Rocco Prestia's autograph on the upper horn there. Anyway, tracked on the 4-string, simple bass solo. Very blues, pentatonic based. That might be the most technical thing there is in the whole thing. Very saxophone-like though still. So yeah, I think the solo, I'm okay with it now. I'm happy with it now. I think it's very appropriate. It seems to fit in. My bassist these days, as a 50-year-old musician that's been playing for 30-something years, is I want my solos to sound like what a saxophone player would do, and I think this one really does, especially that lick. Oops. That's pretty sax-like. I could hear a sax doing something like that. So anyway, the bass solo turned out okay, I think. Using a chorus pedal for that now. I didn't do a chorus at the time, but I would now. And then there's more of a build-up, and then we come in, and I'm using my 10FX Barracuda Flanger pedal now. I didn't use it then, but I think it just really makes that line pop. And where Myles comes in with the line "Forgive Me," it's the lick there is very reminiscent of Stone Temple Pilots' "Interstate Love Song." It's not exact, but it's very reminiscent. Right, I kind of hear that. So this song, so I was really big on emphasizing any sort of tritones that could be found in the chord. If it's a dominant chord, there's a tritone there. I will emphasize that. If it's a diminished chord, it contains a tritone. I'm gonna emphasize that. So you'll notice all of my bass lines that I compose. Very big on chromatic approach notes. Very big on chromatic passing tones. Very big on sort of leading tone movements, so going, from below up to the root by half a step, or really bringing out the tensions in the chord. So this is sort of an A7 chord. It's got an A and a C sharp and a G natural, and so my mind wants to bring out those tension notes, and so my line reflects that. I'm going down the A dominant chord, the A dominant scale, Mixolydian scale, starting on the 7th. And then I don't land on the root, I skip down to the lower 7th, and I get there via the C sharp and the B. Okay, so I'm coming down, and then I go to the root, the A, and then again I kind of do an approach from below back to the 7. And then I throw in some notes below that. So pentatonic scale to get there, it's kind of a G major pentatonic, starting on the D, D, E, G, A, B, D, and then instead of going to the A chord, I go to the third, the C sharp. So I will often do that type of thing as well. I will play, instead of the root note of the chord, I will play the third of the chord. Did that in previous songs. And that gives more chromaticism, it gives more of a line that is smooth instead of stair-steppy. So I use this G, the chords in the chorus are really just A to G. That's all it is, but I really milk that by using all the scale tones and the chromatic tensions and the tritone subs. And that part kind of complements what Jeff is doing on the trumpet as well. He's playing something, I can't remember exactly what it is right now, but it kind of goes along with what I'm doing. So I think my bass line, I heard the trumpet and I said, okay, I'm going to kind of buy into that and tie into that a little bit, but with a different choices of notes. Then we get into this, we do that, we get into this really cool center section, and to me it has a progression that really reminded me of like Sting and the Police. And so I forgot the amazing trumpet solo. Man, Jeff Miller, rest in peace. What a trumpet player, what a musician, what a human being. That trumpet solo just kills. That's just amazing, and it was amazing to be in a band with him and to hear him play every day, and I miss him dearly. So that trumpet solo, check it out. That's Jeff Miller. Anyway, we come out of that. And I play kind of an F Lydian down to the F, because we go to the F chords. And now we do this build up, and I'm going to go in octaves. I'm going to go up in whole tones. So F, G, the next chord is actually an F chord, but I play the third, so I play A. And then the next chord is G again, but I play B. So I'm playing the third, so I play the root, the third, and we have a whole tone scale. So F, G, A, B. Now I continue going up the scale, even though the chord is alternating from F to G, I go to C, so I'm now playing the fifth in the bass, and I can't tell on the on the CD if I'm playing this or not, but this is a change I'm going to make, and I'm going to play the C, and above it the F, which is the root, and then above that a C again. So now I've got an F chord, but it's sandwiched between the fifths. So I do that, and then I'm going to do that a step higher. And I definitely hear something like that on the original, where I'm playing D, G to D, and then I pop up from E to F. E is the leading tone to F, and I do an F add 9 chord. So the whole cycle there in the bridge, coming out of the bridge, F, G, F, A bass, G, B bass, and you can hear that Sting song, that Police song in there. C with an F in the middle, G with D with the G in the middle, back up to F again, and then I play the drum fill, Mike Shirky's drum fill. Right, so we go F, G, A, and now we do this really long outro, extended outro sequence. There's this very floating trumpet part, there's this ripping guitar solo, and there's some chords. Basically, A, G, F, G. It's like an Iron Maiden song, right? But instead of just doing the root notes, I'm all over the place. So I'm playing A. So I go up to the fourth of A and then back down. And then the next chord is G. So I do that same pattern up to the fourth of G. Right? And then for the F chord, I do sort of a G major pentatonic. I kind of weave around there. And I get back to the A. Here's the G chord. So for that F major, I kind of bounce around. It's kind of an E minor pentatonic, but it still seems to work because the F chord kind of goes back up to G as well. So as I'm weaving through that, guitar is going back up, and that goes on for a minute or two. And then we end on the G chord. So even though the song is an A, we end on the 7th, and that's the goes back to that blues. E7, and then it ends on A finally. So that's my very long and thorough analysis and critique, and I've made some changes as I went through it again after 25 years. So I threw in some new things that I think sound good, and flesh out some ideas that I had originally that I didn't really make them complete and realize them completely. But now that I've had 25 years to think about things, this is what I'm going to settle on. So that's that. I've got my Craig Johnson memorial T-shirt on. We just celebrated, or maybe that's not the right term, but we just recognized the 3rd anniversary of his passing. He died in very tragic circumstances, and his family is seeking justice for his wrongful death. So please remember Craig Johnson. There's a Facebook group. It's called Justice for Craig A. Johnson, Idaho. If you're interested, check it out. And keep Craig Johnson and keep Jeff Miller alive in your hearts and your memories. Keep listening to their music and thinking of them, and working for justice for all people who died in a wrongful manner. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for listening to me blabber for 18 minutes now, or at least 12 minutes. Okay. All right. Take care. Thanks.